The Blueberry Academy will be part of the Indigo Disk, the second part of the hidden treasure of Area Zero. We don't know a lot about it. In fact, we don't know a lot about basically anything. We're entering the 4th month without any news from the Pokemon Company, and I fear we'll only get news in August during Worlds. Please don't do that. But until then, we theorize and we speculate, and today we talk about those 4 unnamed trainers. So hey, I'm not so ace trainer, and what about them? Let's get into it. This is the image that showed us the first look at actual characters that will appear in the Blueberry Academy after the live-action teaser trailer, though that's where it ended. On the left we have ourselves, the main characters, also known as Florian and Juliana in canon. Then in the middle we have 2 characters that will likely be incredibly important in the DLC, which this art makes even more likely considering their middle positioning. And they are Carmen and Kieran. They are from Kitakami as well, so we'll be seeing them a lot through the DLC. But these 4 right here on the right are not even referred to by any of the texts in the official website. Recently I got a comment on my True Reason Why the Blueberry Academy Exists video about them, and Moyav2020 asked me if they could be champion AIs. I don't think they are, but they might be connected to them in a way. So the first thing we should do, and the only thing we can do really, is look at them. Pokemon characters, especially battle-oriented characters like gym leaders, Elite Four or champions, often give us hints at what Pokemon type they specialize in with their design, or what their ace Pokemon is. When you look at Bugsy for example from Johto, you will say, yeah, that looks like a bug type trainer to me. The same goes for when you look at Alder for example, the champion of Unova. While his team has a balance of different Pokemon types, by looking at him, you expect the fire type to play a big role on his team, and Volcarona ends up being his ace Pokemon. So that's what I did, and there are a couple things that really end up connecting them to the champions, so let's look at them. Starting with this one, and judging by the design, we can easily connect it to a chef. In this game, Kofu, the gym leader, was also a chef, though this time we have someone with red hair and a frying pan. I would guess that this trainer likely has a fire-based team, or at least a fire-based ace or fire Terra type ace. We've seen this red hair thing before in trainers like Flannery and the previously mentioned Alder. This one right here reminds me of Miriam. They appear to be wearing a lab coat like a nurse, and the emphasis on the color pink reminds me of fairy type. Recently, in Galar, we saw how pink was a very important color to the fairy-type gym leader Opal, and Ortega from Team Star also sported a pastel pink suit. Then this guy right here reminds me a lot of Raihan. The jacket, and more specifically the shorts, which seem to have a dragon-like pattern on them, although different, looks similar to the style the Galarian dragon-type gym leader sported. Dragon trainers or dragon tamers have always had various styles, though the color black was very common among them. It could be seen in trainers like Lance and Cynthia for example. Also, there's clearly some creature on the jacket, but I am still not sure what to make of it, but it looks not really dragon-y, so it might break the eventual pattern I create. And lastly we have this one. We can see a very stern stance that almost reminds me of Maxi from Team Magma. The look they have is also the one that appears the most robotic. Still, if we look at the hair, we see screws. This immediately reminded me of Iono and the quote-unquote regional Magnemite that people were going crazy about. We got clickbaited by a Pokemon influencer, Art Imitates Life. In this case, since we only have the screws, I can't help but to think about Steel type. While Steel-type trainers have had various types of designs, the stance reminds me of people like Steven or Wickstrom, who had a more serious vibe to them. So, summarizing the whole thing, we have a fire type, a fairy type, a dragon type and a steel type right here. And that might not be their full team type, but at least their ace type or their Terra type, because that's an important thing, that doesn't fit anything we had before, might be that specific type. But now let's look at the Blueberry Academy itself. Now, the Blueberry Academy is also a big mystery. We know it is modern and mostly underwater. It was hinted at in the first trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, and it, most importantly of all, focuses on battling. The fact that we're going there is likely related to the fact that we are champion ranked trainers. There's also another thing. There are clearly differences in the outfits, although they're not like the Naranja and the Uva Academy differences. They seem to imply some kind of hierarchy. For example, I feel like the white outfit is the one that lower level or quote-unquote weaker trainers have, or at least Blueberry Academy freshmen, and the full blue outfit is the one that veteran trainers wear. That would make the Steel-type trainer the top one, which would fit them being at the top, looking down, and it would also mean that Carmen is supposedly a very strong trainer as well. Maybe the fact that, judging by the image alone, we start with blue pants already means that our champion rank might also provide us a starting boost when we get to the academy. But now, as the final question, are they related or could they be related to the champions? I think they might be, but not as AIs or apprentices or anything. We're talking about the Battle Academy here, a place that focuses on battling and that likely has a lot of students that grew up enticed by the competitive scene of the Pokemon world. They probably grew up watching those champions battle. While this isn't explored as much in other regions, we saw in Galar how big this can be. Lots of people watching, a spectacle in a way. So, by growing up inspired by those champions, by those battles, maybe they modeled their teams or their aces in their images. Alder had the Fire-type ace as well as Leon. Steven had the Steel-type as its specialty. Diantha had a Fairy-type ace as well, and Lance was the Dragon Tamer, with Cynthia having her legendary Garchomp as well. Maybe they are just a nod at the champions of the past, a reminder of the battles we faced on our Pokemon journeys. Or maybe the champions will be teaching classes in the Blueberry Academy and we'll be able to interact with them like we did with the teachers in our Paldean academies. I'm just kidding, that would never happen. Or would it? But anyway, that is all I have for you today. Right now, there's not a lot much that I can say besides looking at them and judging their designs. But what about you? How do you feel about their specialty types? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. You can follow me on social media and Twitch. I stream there Wednesday to Sunday, not Saturday, or join our Discord. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.